Welcome, hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday, where we share bits and pieces of the baking industry with you guys. So, my name is Gideon Smith, and today we are going to be talking about the trend clean label. Clean label, yes. Really talking about the ingredients found on varying products, the trend that it is and maybe where it's going, and really how you guys can apply it from a baking professional standpoint and understand where the consumers are coming from. This is all leading up to the Baker Academy seminar that is going to be happening on June 10th. And so this is kind of like a precursor to that. So I was reading an article getting ready for this, and it was talking about the market for clean label is in about 4 years going to be to the tune of $50 billion. Yeah, so if you're not already on this trend and your company is not already innovating towards this way, you're kind of behind, but not too far behind. There's always room to catch up. And I was also reading that American consumers, about 50% of them either often read the ingredient labels or always read the ingredient labels of their baked products. And I thought that was really remarkable coming from a family growing up where we didn't really care at all, but now the market and the consumers have really changed their perspective and are very, very health conscious, even when it comes to sweets like cookies or pastries or desserts. So yeah, let's jump into it. Clean label federally does not have a regulated definition. So that really leans it to be broad and confusing and maybe even misunderstood in a lot of places. And generally it's understood as pure and simple ingredients. That's kind of a good fundamental understanding of what the term and trend is. And so, there's countless companies and manufacturing plants who are pursuing this and taking their white pan breads and their hamburger buns and reformulating them to really satisfy the customer demand of clean label. And yes, this is highly driven by customers and consumers. 3 categories that I want to kind of discuss in brief is how we can apply it and how we can understand it. The first one of ingredients, they should be friendly. That means easily recognizable. So your milk solids, your baking powder, your yeast, your salt, these are all really household understood items that are sometimes replaced by blends or other ingredients that have a much more scientific name, like dough conditioners or anything of that nature, that are placed in bread products that the consumers don't know. A lot of times, almost all of the times, we know those dough conditioners are plant-based and awfully healthy. I think this trend really started when Food Babe called out ADA. I'm sure all of you guys are familiar with that. So the second category that we're going to talk about is, have my notes here, is healthy. Right? Is healthy. And so these are your non-GMOs, your natural organic ingredients, and then an offshoot of this category is the hidden veggies or the high protein or the high fiber products. Those are all stem from this trend of clean label. The last category is responsible. We have been groomed, the culture has been groomed into really wanting and expecting ingredient companies and manufacturing companies to be eco-friendly, have a small carbon footprint, and so on and so forth. And so consumers are doing the research of who's producing these products, and they're wanting to support what they believe in, their values. They're also really wanting to gravitate towards local produce, and that also means even local manufacturing. So yeah, I think COVID, is easily pointed to as driving that, and I know all of us are grateful for it. It's a new challenge, but farmers markets, man, we all love farmers markets. Early Saturday mornings, ready to go pick up some flowers, and your locally fresh and baked bread. So I have some products here that I just picked up at Walmart. I am in Bentonville, Arkansas, and so yeah, you go to Walmart when you're in Bentonville, Arkansas. I have some Wonder Bread. I have Walmart brand brioche hot dog buns, and then I have Teasdale Simply Special black bean and citrus tortillas. So this kind of hopefully covers a small picture of what we'll talk about today of clean label. So the first one, Wonder Bread. If you don't know what Wonder Bread is, you've gotten into a weird rabbit trail of bakery knowledge on LinkedIn or YouTube or wherever you're watching. I have some notes here because these ingredients are absolutely tiny. So in Wonder Bread, we have some of these ingredients. These are the ingredients I picked out that are hard to understand from a consumer standpoint. We have calcium carbonate, SSL and CSL, which are sodium stearyl lactylate and calcium stearyl lactylate. We have calcium peroxide. We have cholecalciferol, vitamin D3. I didn't know that. I'm going to be straight up and honest with you guys. I didn't know what vitamin D3 was. We have calcium propionate, and then we have ethoxylated mono and diglycerides. I think the consumers are pretty familiar with mono and diglycerides for their function of helping the bread be soft. But I think that word there is really going to intimidate several people. The ethoxylated or ethoxylated. So that's Wonder Bread. Man, French toast, sandwiches, you name it, people are craving this. And there's nothing better than sliced bread, and I feel like Wonder Bread really nailed it on that one. So, going to hot dog buns. This is a brioche hot dog bun in honor of Memorial Day and July 4th coming up. I figured, why not? Man, I was really impressed with this ingredient label from Walmart. Obviously, they're trying to always be on the leading edge of everything. And so some of those ingredients that I found, this was more of a clean label item that I picked out, especially compared to our beloved Wonder Bread. It has invert sugar, which is definitely better and different than high fructose corn syrup. So invert sugar is a mixture of dextrose and fructose. And then, man, it was just filled with dried milk, malted rye, baker's yeast, salt, skim milk, vital wheat gluten. All of these are very understanding, recognizable, and anything that is, there's mono and diglycerides of fatty acids, and there's also sodium stearyl lactylate and beta carotene, which is just color, as we know. I think those two items and ingredients are just going to be really easy to Google if the consumer is like that scared. But again, I think they're used to seeing those on just about every single baked product. for shelf life. So, ingredients are the mixers and the bakers' first line of defense for a clean label. So we have to always look at that as their functionality. So the enzymes, emulsifiers, and even fermentates, the ingredients that come from the fermenting of things, are always going to help your clean label initiative. Because enzymes, you don't have to say invertase or protease or any of those things that might scare the public. It'll just read enzymes on your ingredient labeling. So that's a win for technology and ingredient companies who have come up with those. And yeah, I think sponge and dough, all of those, heavy mixing processes and dough processes are really going to aid in the clean label initiative, because you're going to need less additives for those to really have high quality. Those enzymes, emulsifiers, they can serve a dual purpose always. They're always going to even aid your process, your quality metrics as volume or texture, or shelf life, as I mentioned before. This third product I have is Teasdale, the black bean citrus, and I wanted to get that because this is a perfect example of the offshoot of clean label, where it goes to healthy, the hidden veggies. This isn't too hidden, it's right in the front name, black bean. But high protein, high fiber. It claims 6 grams of plant-based protein per serving on this. So right up front, clean label is usually always going to have some sort of branding allowance. For example, this 6 grams of protein. On this guy, I noticed that it was several natural ingredients, so like the natural black beans, the natural soybean oil, lime juice, cornstarch. This one has baking powder, corn flax. Corn flex. It's small, okay. And so on and so forth. So this was kind of a mix between the two. It's definitely headed towards clean label, but there's still some ingredients on there that the consumer might be like, but because it's black bean and citrus, that kind of almost like trumps the ingredients that they used, because they are just more driven to the health conscious, and the benefits outweigh the cost of not understanding all of the ingredients. So kind of long-winded, but I hope that helped at least some of you understand where clean label is, where it's going, some products that you can just pick up at the grocery store, and as baking professionals, we need to always be aware of what the ingredients we're using at the plant level are and how they're going to translate to the consumer perspective in mind. So I really appreciate it. Don't forget June 10th. That's in 2 days when I'm filming, a day when you're probably seeing this. And so we're going to be interviewing Lalamond, ingredient company, and really talking about the trend more in depth. And so there's going to be more to learn there. But have a great day, and thanks for joining us on this Wisdom Wednesday. I'll see you soon.